Hello, this is Online 3, Listening and Speaking for B1. This is week 4, day 5. In this video, we are going to focus on listening to. When we are doing this exercise, you will have a chance to use your knowledge and you will have a chance to practice the listening skill of listening for detail. Now look at this map. This map you can find on page 59. There are also some questions about this map. In this exercise, we will try to find out what you already know about the topic. So there are 3 questions. Can you answer these questions? Pause the video now, read the questions, and try to write a few words as your answers. After that, come back to check. Here are the answers in 3, 2, and 1. So which modern countries, before we go over the answers actually, listen yourself and check your answers. So this listening takes 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
3.6.
Good morning. Let's begin. Last week we discussed how the Ottoman Empire was founded. As you may remember, we discussed that the Ottoman Empire lasted for 623 years, in the period from 1299 until 1922. In the 16th century, it was one of the most powerful states in the world. If you look at the map, you will notice that the eastern borders of the empire covered the region of southeastern Europe, that is, modern-day Greece and Bulgaria. In the south, it included Egypt, Algeria, and Yemen, and in the east, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Iraq. Today, we will discuss one of the most important events in the history of the empire and the man who was behind it. The conquest of Constantinople by Mehmed II was one of the turning points in the history of the empire. First, we will look at the political situation in Constantinople in the 15th century. Then we will discuss the conquest of the city and finally the role played by Mehmed II in its development. Constantinople, which in modern times is known as Istanbul, was founded by the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great in 330 AD. By the 15th century, the city was the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Byzantine is the term used for the Roman Empire in the Middle Ages. In the 1100s, Constantinople was the richest place in Europe. In the 1400s, the city had approximately 70,000 inhabitants. Constantinople was famous for its defense system. It was protected by a double wall. In addition to this, the Golden Horn and the Sea of Marmara provided protection. Despite the excellent defences, the city was captured in 1453 by Mehmed II, a sultan of the Ottoman Empire, and shortly after it became the capital of the Ottoman Empire.
So let's go to the answers now. Let's check the answers. Which modern countries were part of the Ottoman Empire? Actually, I cannot write them all here, but as you listened, you probably have heard these countries: Algeria, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bulgaria, Egypt, Greece, Iraq, and Yemen. What is the modern name for the city Constantinople? The city Constantinople. What is the modern name? The modern name is Istanbul. And who do you think Mehmed II was? Actually, the answer is here. He was the ruler of the Ottoman Empire. So you can see a city map of the city Constantinople on page 59. This is the second part of the listening. This time, when you listen to the next part, write T or F next to these sentences. Before you listen, it is always a good idea to read the questions first. So pause the video now, read the questions, and after that, we will start the recording. So here is the recording.
3.7.
So who was Mehmed? Mehmed II, or as he is sometimes referred to, Mehmed the Conqueror, is probably one of the greatest military rulers in the history of the world. He was born in 1432, and at the age of 21, he led an army of 200,000 men and 320 ships to take over Constantinople. It took him just 53 days to conquer the city. Mehmed was an excellent planner, and he hired engineers to build modern weapons. As soon as he took over Constantinople, Mehmed started rebuilding the city and encouraged people to move there. Meanwhile, he also made it the capital of the Ottoman Empire and founded many universities and colleges. The Sultan invited educated men from all over Europe to come and live in Constantinople. Mehmed himself is said to have been fluent in 7 languages, including Turkish, Arabic, Persian, Hebrew, Greek and Latin, and perhaps Russian. Eventually, Mehmed II ruled the Ottoman Empire from 1451 until his death in 1481. During this period, he became famous for his conquests all over Europe and Asia. In addition to Mehmed's military conquests and language skills, he was the first to write laws for the Ottoman Empire. His rule expanded the Ottoman Empire across Europe and in Asia. Constantinople, or as we know it today, Istanbul, was the capital of the Ottoman Empire for 469 years, from 1453 until 1922. Much of the city's unique atmosphere and beauty is due to Mehmed II and his vision. Next week, we will discuss the role of the Ottoman Empire in the 16th and 17th centuries. Your assignment for this week is...
All right, this was the listening, and this exercise aims to give you some practice in listening for detail. So let's check the answers now. Mehmed II was born in 1423. That's false. You will hear it again to get the correct time. After 53 days, Mehmed II entered the city of Constantinople. That's true. Mehmed II told his engineers to design new weapons. That's also true. The last one is false. Now, this is another chance to practice listening for detail as a skill, as a listening skill. Listen again and complete the notes. Now, please pause the video now, go back to the listening, listen again, and try to complete the notes. Again, you should keep in mind that before you start listening, it is very important to read the information on the card. And when you read the information on the card, it will help you to get ready for the correct answers. So pause the video now, go back to the listening, listen again, and complete this card. After that, come back to check your answers. All right, here are the answers in 3, 2, 1. Mehmed II was born in 1432. In 1453, when he was 21 years old, he captured Constantinople. It took him 53 days to take over the city. He hired engineers to develop modern weapons. With these modern weapons, he broke the city walls. After taking over the city, he moved the capital to Constantinople. He rebuilt the city, he built some universities and colleges, and he invited educated men to live in the city. Between 1451 and 1481, Mehmed II ruled the Ottoman Empire, and in 1481, Mehmed II died. Constantinople, in other words, today's Istanbul, was the capital until 1922. Remember, you can find the audio script for this listening on pages 207 and 208. You can read the audio script and check the answers there. In this video, we focused on two important listening skills. One, using your knowledge, and two, listening for detail. You can now go to the next video for text organization features.